Hey guys! In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to moisturize your natural hair. I know that it can be a struggle to get moisturized hair and then keep it moisturized for days at a time, but honestly sis, we all go through it. Our natural hair is naturally dry, especially because of all the twists and curls and curves of our hair. It makes it really hard for the oil from our scalp to travel all the way down the length of our hair strands, making them susceptible to dryness. So if your hair is dry right now, that is absolutely normal. And in my opinion, having highly moisturized hair starts on wash day. So my first tip is to cleanse consistently. Cleansing your hair consistently can help to minimize the product buildup that comes from us using butters, creams, and oils sometimes on a daily basis. And by removing those older layers of hair products, we can ensure that the new product that you're putting on your hair during wash day is able to fully absorb into your hair because there isn't a barrier between the two. Typically, if you have low porosity hair, meaning your hair cuticles lay flat and tightly against your hair strand, kind of like they're locking arms around your hair's cortex, you'll tend to get product buildup much easier over time because products tend to sit on top of your hair instead of sinking in. Now, I have low porosity hair, and to make sure that I'm not getting product buildup, I cleanse my hair with shampoo about 2 to 3 times a month. And then when I need to lightly cleanse my hair and I don't have much product buildup, I will co-wash about once a month. If you have medium or high porosity hair, meaning your hair cuticles are slightly open or very open, you probably won't have as much product buildup. So I would start with shampooing your hair probably once a month if you don't know where to start, and then you can gradually increase this or decrease this as you see fit. Clarifying your hair can also be an excellent way to remove product buildup. It resets your hair back to zero and gets all the residual product and also the natural oils off your hair. So you want to be careful with this and don't do it too much with the clarifying. I like to use apple cider vinegar and do an apple cider vinegar rinse. It feels so good and your hair is just soft and fluffy. I have a video on it, so I'll link it down below as well as on the screen. But if you're more of a DIY girl and not a DIYer, the Shea Moisture African Black Soap Deep Cleansing Shampoo is really good for clarifying, as well as the Form Beauty Cleanse Shampoo, and I'll have those linked down below as well. So you don't want to over cleanse your hair with shampoo or a clarifier because it's going to break down the natural oils that you need on your hair to help keep you from being susceptible from breakage and frizz. So to prevent this, I like to clarify every 3 to 4 months. After cleansing, the most important part of your natural hair regimen is deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is when you use a product that's designed to penetrate your hair strands and deliver moisture and nutrient to your hair's cortex so that you can feed your hair from the inside out and moisturize it from the inside out. Now, a rinse out conditioner and a deep conditioner are not the same things. A rinse out is more so designed to moisturize your hair on the surface, whereas the deep conditioner really penetrates your hair and heals it. For low porosity hair, deep conditioning with heat from a hooded dryer, from a beanie from your natural heat, or even a thermal cap can really help your deep conditioner penetrate even better because it'll raise your hair cuticles and allow the molecules and the nutrients to pass through easier. If you have medium to high porosity hair, you probably won't need heat to allow the product to penetrate your hair, but it can speed up your processing time, which means less time doing your hair. I have the best results when I deep condition every single wash day. So that's about 3 times a month. Now, if you're just starting out with boosting your moisture levels or your hair has been dry and brittle for some time, I would start out with deep conditioning every single week because you'll really help to alleviate that dryness and the brittleness and also any damage that your hair has experienced. When I first started building up my moisture levels, I would deep condition every single week, and I did that for over a year, and it completely turned the health of my hair around. It made my hair much more manageable and kind of took the stress out of wash day because it was easier for me to do my hair. So it changed my life and I swear by deep conditioning now. If you guys want to see a more detailed view of how to deep condition your hair properly, I'm going to leave a video on the screen for you. My next tip is to minimize cotton as much as you possibly can. Now for me, my hair rarely ever touches cotton, and that goes for the headscarf that I sleep on, for the towel that I use when I wash my hair. Even when I lay my head down on a couch or the headrest in my car, I put a scarf draped over the back of my headrest, and I never put my hair on a bare couch. Like, I'm so serious about the cotton thing. I used to not let my hair touch cotton at all, except for the t-shirt that I use to dry my hair. And when I realized that I was doing that, I realized that it doesn't make sense. Through research, I have found that cotton t-shirts are more gentle than towels simply because the surface is a lot smoother than a standard towel is. But the cotton still has the same properties that will take everything out of your hair, including the good natural oils that protect you from breakage and frizziness. So the properties of the fabric don't change just because the fabric has taken on a different form. And I don't know why, I never thought of that, but I just realized that lately. Now, I'm especially aware of using cotton on my hair when it's soaking wet, because when your hair is wet, it's at its weakest point. And that's because your hair can take on about 30 to 50% of its weight in water, and this causes your hair to stretch, which can be good when you're detangling, when you're using a product full of slip to help you work through your tangles, but it can also lead to breakage if you stretch your hair too far while it's wet. And this is why you never, ever, ever want to apply heat directly to soaking wet hair. You want to give your hair some time to dry before you take a blow dryer to it, because blow drying soaking wet hair can deplete your hair of its shininess and its smoothness because you're taking out those natural oils. And also the heat from the blow dryer can boil the water in your hair, causing heat damage, splits, and breakage. Water can be great for your hair. It helps to make your hair more pliable. It opens up your hair cuticle so that you can receive the moisture from your hair products, but it can also be damaging because when your hair soaks in water for too long, your hair strand begins to swell and take on the weight of that water. And then also when it dries, it shrinks back, and just doing that constantly throughout the span of your hair's life can lead to wear and tear, which makes you more susceptible for breakage and frizz and brittleness. So the phenomenon that I'm talking about is called hydral fatigue, and I think it's really important to touch on in a video about how to moisturize your hair, because sometimes we get so caught up in just applying water and water to keep our hair moisturized that we can make our hair swell and contract so much that we actually do the opposite. We make our hair drier, it's brittle, and it's frizzier. And really the way that you can keep yourself from getting hydral fatigue is by having a hair towel, kind of like this one here. It doesn't disrupt your hair's cuticles, which makes it easier for you to keep your natural oils, which is important for healthy hair. Because when your cuticles are raised off your hair strand, it can tend to make your hair look more dull, more frizzy, and then also more dry. But since I've started using this towel and I switched over from using a t-shirt that I've been using for years and years, I've noticed a huge difference in how shiny and smooth my hair is, and it just makes my hair feel happier and healthy. So these last two tips focus on how to apply product to get maximum moisture, and then also how to maintain that moisture throughout the week. And like I said at the beginning of this video, having highly moisturized hair begins on wash day, and that goes for applying your products when you're styling as well. So for all hair types, you want to apply two different products on wash day. The first one you want to use is going to moisturize your hair, and this is any water-based product. And then the second one you're going to use is not a water-based product, meaning water isn't the first ingredient, and this is going to help to seal the moisture in your hair so that it doesn't eventually evaporate and make your hair feel dry all over again. The types of products that you choose are really going to depend on your hair porosity and your hair texture, but there are three different types of moisturizers, and the first one is a runny or lightweight leave-in, the second one is a creamy hair milk, and then the third is a thick and rich hair cream. I always use two of these moisturizers on every wash day because I find that I get maximum moisture when I pair a leave-in with either a hair milk or when I pair a leave-in with a hair cream. But typically, if you have low porosity or thin, fine, loose, curly hair, you're going to go more towards the medium to lightweight products. And then if you have kinkier, denser, medium to high porosity hair, your hair tends to crave more medium to thick products, especially if you have dense hair, which is a blessing. I wish my hair was dense. Now, the type of sealant that you choose will depend on your hair porosity and type as well. So heavier sealants like shea butter, or really any hair butter, mango butter, kapuasu butter, Jamaican black castor oil, or olive oil, those types of heavy hair products are more so suited for the kinkier, denser, highly textured hair, and also medium to high porosity hair. And if you find that heavy sealants work best for you, you don't want to switch it up and go light on later wash days because your hair won't be sealed fluid as well, and eventually the moisture will evaporate from your hair, leaving it feeling dry and crispy, and everyone hates that when you put in so much time on wash day and then your hair doesn't even last for the week. Now, light sealants tend to work well with looser curl patterns, fine hair, thin hair, even straight or relaxed hair, or especially if you have low porosity hair. And that's because the molecules in lighter products tend to be a little bit smaller, so they're easier to penetrate your hair shaft, which is hard to do when you have low porosity hair. So the same rule applies here. If you find that your hair prefers light sealants, you want to make sure that you stick to that, because if you use thicker sealants, one, it can dry your hair out because it may not be able to penetrate your hair strands, and then two, having weighed down hair from a thick product is not a good look. Trust me, I've done it. There was a period where I thought shea butter worked for me, and it did not at all, but I used it consistently for like over a year. And one day I finally realized it just wasn't gonna cut it when I did some mini twists and I sealed with shea butter, and my hair looked like little worms. So just go with what your hair likes. Now, to help maintain the moisture in your hair from day to day, you want to add a little bit of moisture back into your hair each day to compensate for the moisture that's naturally going to be lost. And if you remember at the very beginning of this video, I said that we all have naturally dry hair, and your hair is going to revert back to its natural state. So we just have to take some measures to kind of put a little oomph and shine back into your hair to make it glisten and glow. To do this, you can remoisturize your hair daily. I'd like to do it morning and night, but it really just depends on what your hair needs. And you can remoisturize your hair by lightly misting your hair with some water or a leave-in spray. And you don't need to get your hair wet. You really don't even need to apply a lot of water, just enough to make your hair a little bit more pliable and kind of open up your hair cuticle so that it can accept the product that you're going to give it. And then you always want to seal with a sealant that works for you. Now, if your hair is really dry, you can apply a little bit of a moisturizer here, but it really just depends on what works for you. And for moisturizing without water, if you have a roller set or a blown out style, or you just don't want to put water on your hair and risk getting any frizz for the week, you can apply nourishing oils to your hair to help maintain the moisture levels that are already in your hair. And some of my favorites from light to heaviest are argan oil, which is super duper light, like you barely can feel it sometimes when you put it in your hair. Then grapeseed oil, safflower seed oil, also almond oil, and jojoba oil. And jojoba oil for me is a little bit too thick, just a little bit. So those are the nourishing oils that aren't going to weigh your hair down in case you have more of a fluffy or lighter hairstyle. And of course, you can always use coconut oil if that's your thing. As far as daily maintenance, you always want to tie your hair up with a silk scarf or a satin scarf when you're sleeping, because it's just going to help your hair not get snagged or cause any unnecessary frizz from the cotton that can happen when you're sleeping on a cotton pillowcase. And I also like to wear my hair in a loose bun whenever I'm home in the house, or if I don't have anywhere to go that day. I won't even take my hair out of the bun that I slept in, because I find that when my hair is grouped together on itself, it's able to maintain its moisture way better than when it's out and free and loose and just flapping in the wind. And keeping my hair in a bun also helps to eliminate tangles, which cuts down on breakage and dryness. So those are my tips on how to keep your hair moisturized. I have a bunch of videos on this topic, and they all have some different tips in them, so I'm going to link a playlist of those down below. But I know that it can kind of sound like a lot, but to help to simplify things, I would recommend just choosing maybe 1 to 2 things from this video and then implementing them in your hair regimen to see how your hair responds to it. And if your hair loves it and feels happy, keep doing that. And if it doesn't make a difference, or if she doesn't like it, just throw that away. Don't even worry about it. You don't have to follow every single one of these tips, and that's the beauty of us all having our own natural hair regimens. We all have something different that works for us. But once you find what does work for your hair, it really does become second nature. Like, you don't even think about it, you just get into the rhythm of it, and it's a really empowering feeling to know and understand your natural hair. So that was my guide to moisturizing your natural hair. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you have any questions about this video, make sure you leave them down below. And also, if there was something that I didn't mention but you like to use it to keep your natural hair moisturized, leave that down below as well, so people can learn from each other and, you know, just pick up little tidbits from the comment section. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching my video. Make sure you give it a like if you liked it, and honestly, just thank you for watching my video. If you made it this far, I love you. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful, bright day, and that you What do I hope for you today? I hope that you let go of anything that's been holding you back, anything that doesn't serve you. Recognize it. It can be big or small, and just let it go. Go into this month with a fresh start, a new perspective, and know that you have the power to decide what you want in your life. So if there's something in your life that you currently don't want, let it go. But all right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.